Imagine if in Israel, when all of those people were invading Israel and going house to house and committing atrocities, imagine if every household that they went into were armed.
Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. This video is just a short clip of one of yesterday's live streams segments. I understand that a lot of people don't have time to go through an hour and 33-minute live stream. Therefore, I put out these videos every once in a while, in addition to putting chapters on my live streams as well after the fact. But I put these out because I think that the information is information that should be heard. And hopefully those of you that don't have an hour and a half or so to dedicate to a full live stream can click on this and be informed as to one of the many things that's going on in our world right now that could affect the way that we prepare. Before we start the video, however, let me inform you all that today, Monday, is the very last day that Opus is going to have that introductory sale for the Mega 3. All right, the Mega 3 is an awesome solar generator, and they are giving you 30% off the MSRP price right off the bat, in addition to which you can use my 10% code to get another 10% off at checkout. So go check that out if you are in the market for a solar generator, because this is a great deal. It's almost 40% off the system as is.
I believe that we are going to enter into a very large crisis, be it a world war, I don't know, be it an internal conflict within our nation here in the United States of America. I don't know, but it can definitely be one or the other, because the cycle tells us that that's going to happen. So the last time that in the United States of America, there was like big civil unrest, a lot of people doing things that were not good, right? That was destructive, was in the 60s, if you all remember that. And now what is it? About 60 plus years later, we're in the 20s. That's a 60-year cycle. And we've been in that cycle here for a little bit now. We have a major war cycle, which is anywhere between like an 80 to a 100-year cycle. And we're right in there. We're right in that major war cycle. We have a financial cycle. We have a micro and a macro financial cycle where the market busts. And the micro cycle is about 8 years or so, between 8 and 10 years. And the macro one is like between 80 and 100 years. Well, what happened around 80 years ago? 80 plus years ago. Well, we had the crash, the big crash that resulted us in going into a Great Depression, which then resulted us, I believe, going into war in order to get that depression out of there, but also resulted in our nation being changed forever through social programs that were put forth that are now pretty much hindering us, because we have to pay so much in taxes just to keep those social programs abreast that it's turned into nothing but a Ponzi scheme. So I'm sure that you all know what went on yesterday, Friday evening going into Saturday morning for us here in the U.S., is that Israel was invaded, I believe, and attacked by, I believe it's Hamas. I'm not very big on geopolitics, all right, because I believe more in cycles than in geopolitics, but I believe it was Hamas, and they went in there doing terrible things. And as a result, many, many people have lost their lives. And there are many people that have been captured by the assaulting side and have been brought back to their country, and they're now hostages. And amongst those are a lot of Americans. So the first thing, ladies and gentlemen, is I would ask that you go ahead and say a prayer, whether you agree with what's going on over there or not. You say a prayer for the people involved, because with war, it seems that more often than not, it is the innocent people that actually suffer more so than those that are committing the atrocities. So that's what's going on over there. This can be the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that triggers World War III. I don't know. We are living in a time, ladies and gentlemen, where anything can happen. We are living in a time where, in my opinion, the powers that be are so desperate to have a war so that it can hide all of the bad things that they've done, not only in the present, not only in the near past, but in the past period, so that it can hide all of those things, that they need a major crisis to occur. Whatever it is, they need it to occur, and they will encourage it. Look at what's going on over there in Eastern Europe with the big R and the big U. That has been encouraged by most Western nations. And it just happens to be that most Western nations are those that have control of the world's purse, are the ones that have control of the world's money. And I don't know if some of you understand this or not, but money is power. if you take away the fiat currency system by which this government governs us, we the people, they would have zero power. Why do you think they had to give up a real money system by giving up gold, by decoupling from gold? Because when they were coupled to gold, they found out that they could be called out very easily. They were called out by France because France said, what in the world? How in the world is it that the US can continue to print money and spend money when there's no more gold going into their vaults? Because at that time, the dollar was coupled to gold, right? So they were wondering, hey, I want my gold back. So they started bringing back their gold to their country. They started turning in those dollar bills, right, that were backed by gold and saying, here, I want my gold back. Give me my gold back. You can have your dollar bills. And that's why we were decoupled. Because once we were decoupled, it gave the government full control of the monetary system, i.e. the Federal Reserve, and it allowed them to print as much as they wanted, to go to as many wars as they wanted. Why do you think is that no longer do wars have to be declared? When's the last time that we declared war, ladies and gentlemen? The president can now go and send his bombs and whatever to any country in the world just by saying so. Why? Because he doesn't need the permission of the people, i.e., he doesn't need the people to say, yes, you can use my money. Why? Because the dollar is fiat and it can be created out of thin air. So once they lose that fiat currency system, they will not have the power. If we have to go back to a gold-based system or a commodities-based system, i.e. gold, oil, wheat, whatever it may be, the government no longer has the power of the purse. We, the people, have the power of the purse because they can't just print it out of thin air. They have to take it directly from we, the people, like World War II. World War II was funded by the people through bonds. That's how it was funded. It wasn't funded with fiat currency. The government went out there and they propagandized the people into buying bonds, right? For right or wrong, the people funded the war. The government borrowed money. From who? The people. And they were able to go to war and continue to go to war and stay in war because the people were giving of their labor, i.e. their purse, their money, so that the government continued to go to war and stay at war. That no longer happens. The government can just go to war whenever it wants, with whoever it wants, whether or not we, the people, give them permission to do so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it's a terrible thing that's happening. We have to be prepared with everything, because if you like your standard of living right now, if you're okay with the standard of living that you have, meaning that you can go to the supermarket and get something to eat whenever you want to get something to eat, meaning that you can go to a gas station and fill up your vehicle whenever you want to or need to, if you like to go and buy a pair of shoes whenever you need a pair of shoes, if you like to get tires for your vehicle whenever it needs it, if you like living that kind of a lifestyle, then you need to get prepared right now. Start preparing now for when that ability for you to just go and get whatever you want whenever you want it, for you to be able to go on Amazon and order whatever you want, whenever you want it, when that ability is no longer there because of rationing or because there's actually war going on near us or within our borders. That is why we need to prepare, because anything that happens, be it man-made, be it natural, be it anything. Imagine if in Israel, when all of those people were invading Israel and going house to house, and committing atrocities. Imagine if every household that they went into were armed. How successful do you think that would have been? Yes, some lives would have been lost, but I would say that not nearly as many would have been lost as have already been lost. How many hostages would have been taken? That's another thing. Prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Get some self-defense as well. You just never know when this can happen here. You don't know. Right now, the southern border is still porous. And we're going to cover that here in a minute. What's to say that the millions of fighting age males that have entered through the southern borders with no other family in tow were not sent here to do bad things to the United States citizenry? Who's to say that? Yes, I'm a crazy guy for even thinking that, right? But really, ladies and gentlemen, who's to say that? 5 days ago or a week ago, who was to say that what's happened yesterday in Israel would have happened? If you would have asked someone that would happen, they would have probably been like, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. But it did. Were they expecting it? No. Were they prepared? I don't know. in my opinion, not as prepared as they could have been, because if everyone was armed in those houses that they went into, man, those people that attacked them, they would have had a much harder time, and they would have probably regretted doing what they did. So prepare yourselves now, ladies and gentlemen, and hope to the good Lord that you never have to use your preps because you have to, but because you're just rotating through them. And pray that you never have to use a self-defense weapon, of whatever kind it may be, because you have to, but that you're using it just to stay proficient with it. That's what preparedness is about. You don't want your kids to go hungry? Get some extra food. You don't want your kids to have to face a fate like some of these people we're facing in Israel right now? Get some self-defense and learn how to use that self-defense. That's why preparing is so very important.
Please let me know in the comments, do you enjoy this better than having to go through an entire live stream? Do you like me just putting chapters on the live stream and not going through this and putting just one clip of one part of the live stream as a standalone video? Let me know what you think. I have a feeling, I'll just give you my opinion, that there's going to be different people thinking that different things are better. Some people are going to think that putting the clips like this video is great. Some people are going to think that just putting chapters on the live stream is great. And some people are going to be like, hey, we always have such a great time during the live stream that just leave the live stream the way it is. But I'm trying to get the word out to as many as possible, so I hope that you enjoyed this format. I'll see if I can continue to do it in the future. Other than that, thank you very much for joining in. There are going to be 2 other videos just like this, but different subject matters that we covered during yesterday's live stream, so be on the lookout for those as well. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.